Hey, everybody. Welcome to Live at 6:45. I know I'm on a second early, but that's okay. Today I'm going to be doing something a little bit special, and you'll notice I'm in my, I'll loosely call it a studio. Yeah, so I'm here, and the reason I'm not doing this outside is, first of all, outside looks like it's going to have a downpour at any moment, and obviously I don't want to do that. Also, just so you know, at this particular second, I'm doing this blind. I am looking at I'm looking at the back of a very nice iPhone, but I can't see the responses or comments yet. So we will get into that. But I want to show you guys a little something. So please note, I am doing this blind. So if I don't acknowledge you're jumping on, that is why. But I do have a lot to show you today. So secondary monitors. This is kind of a big deal. So you may have a notebook. Now I'm going to show you mine. This is my MacBook Air. Love it. It's a fantastic notebook. And of course, there it is. It lights up and all of this good stuff. So it works very well. But sometimes, just sometimes, especially with notebooks, it's like, wow. A lot of people say, I wish it were bigger. If you have poor eyesight or something like that, yes, I understand. Bigger is good. But for people in the design industry or just in general, it's really nice to have more real estate. And that is, I want more space to put my windows and what I'm looking at. So a secondary screen. So I know that some people are like, oh yeah, it would be really nice to have, let's say, a browser window open and a place for notes or a document you're writing or whatnot. Yes, that's absolutely an excellent use of that. From my own point, it's not uncommon where I will have something of a video playing on a secondary screen, and I will have something I'm working on my primary screen. Or when I'm doing design work, and this is really important, when I'm doing design work, I tend to like to have one monitor that is dedicated to what I'm working on, and then the other monitor which has all my tools and like my tools, my monitors, my VU meter or things like that, things that I can see what's going on. Or if I'm editing graphics, a histogram is always nice. If you guys want to know more about what that means, that's a whole other thing. But you know what? We can definitely talk. Hit me up in the comments. Email. Check out the website rstrother.com. That's up and running, and I'm quite pleased with it. Still a few tweaks to do, but you know, minor stuff. So, but the website is working very well. Okay, so options. Yes, you can go out to Best Buy. You can go out to Staples, Bureau and Grow, whatever, Office Depot, whatever it is, and you can, or a computer store, and you can buy another monitor and hook it up. Yes, absolutely doable. And there's a few ways to do so. Now, some monitors, older monitors, will hook up with VGA. If you guys go back to the really early episodes, I actually show a VGA adapter. You know what? Let me see if I can't pull one up here for you guys while we're talking. So VGA is one of the big common ones, but nowadays, let's be honest, what are we looking for? We're looking for our two big majors. Do you guys remember this? I've talked about them a few times. So you guys should know, if you guys have been watching me, you guys will know right away that I love standards. I love standards and I love HDMI. And you guys know the other one? USB-C. Love USB-C and HDMI. And there are so many reasons for that. So let me see if I can just go VGA port. Here we go. Them's the goods. You know what? That'll do nicely. Let's see if I open that in its own tab. Yeah, open back. Sure, that's perfectly fine. Good, good enough. 3 rows of 5 pins, usually blue. That makes it very identifiable. 3 rows, 5 pins, almost always blue. I mean, In the past, like, decade, I've only ever seen them blue. The wire that plugs into it is often blue as well. So interesting to note. So yes, VGA, always a good move. So that is a lot of fun. So yes, you can go out, you can buy a secondary screen, you can plug it in. Please do make sure that your computer has either an HDMI port or a VGA port. There are others. I'm not a big fan of them. I'm not a big fan of mini HDMI, micro HDMI. Those are very obscure kind of offshoot things. So if you happen to go online to buy a portable secondary monitor, please make absolutely sure, like double and triple check that it is either USB-C or standard HDMI. Why? Because I don't want you getting stuck in the case where you have to go and buy a specialty wire in order to use your portable monitor. So, talking about portable monitors. Now, I've got one that I've ordered online. Ufia, I ordered a different model, or I thought I had ordered a different model. Their website is not particularly, it's not the clearest of all websites, so I wasn't particularly impressed with that. However, the monitor itself works very well. So this is the monitor in question, and what it looks very thick, and it is a little bit, but for a very specific reason. This is kind of cool, is that it folds out, right? So you could theoretically use it as a document monitor standing up like this, right? Or this part expands. Well, why? Because then you literally cup it over your laptop monitor and you have a secondary monitor right there. So it attaches to your notebook and it works as its own perch, which is really nice. The other thing that I really like about this particular monitor, even the other model that has the two sides, you can get one with both sides, is that they also have full-size proper HDMI. So HDMI can plug right into there, okay? So you can use a gaming system with this. You could use a portable DVD. Actually, you could use any standard DVD player, Blu-ray player, game console, anything that puts HDMI, and goodness knows there's a lot that output HDMI. And you can use the USB-C ports. Now, the USB-C ports are for both power and they provide both power and video. If you want to use the video option. If you use the HDMI option, you will still need to power it with USB-C. That is completely normal. However, let me run this cable behind here. I'm going to plug it into the MacBook Air. And then when we light this up, you'll notice, actually, I'm going to turn this around so you guys can see it. And this will light up the monitor over here. And there are two ways to use secondary monitors. Now, this could be handy if I'm having a business meeting and I want to turn my screen this way so that other people can see it, or I could even have it kind of folded so I could have it showing out the back so that people could see what I'm doing. But this one won't, because this one, and let me just open a window or a file here. You know what? I'm just going to open a video file real quick. Right? So I've got this video file. What I can do with this video file, I'll make it a little smaller. This was something that I was going to do today, but I'm going to take my time and do it a little bit. Let me go and make the video smaller. View. I don't want a view to fit. Okay. I can go to the top here to the title bar here, and I could move this over to the other screen. So I can now have that. So this is an extension. You'll notice as I go back and forth, you'll see it goes off one screen and comes onto the other. So the screen is literally split this way. Now, computers are dumb. They don't know where this monitor is and which side. It could be above, it could be below, it could be whatever. And all Macs have the ability to do this. It is inherent in every Macintosh. Most PCs can. What's going to determine that is the graphics card or graphic chipset if you have a notebook, PC notebook. But what's going to determine this is in the settings. You actually have to tell the computer where the monitor goes. So I'm going to go to the display settings over here. and show you guys this. This is a functional demo. I mean, like, this is really kind of hands-on. Where's my display? I'm reading upside down here. That's Sidecar. I'll get to that. I'm going to show you that. So you'll notice that I have two display windows that have come up, one on the secondary monitor, the other on my primary monitor, and there is this one thing that says, I can go over here to arrangement, and this is called mirroring. If I mirror, both displays show the same thing. So if I'm in a client meeting or whatever, and I want to show out the back or have this monitor somewhere else, and I want to show the exact same thing so that people can follow along or whatnot, this is called mirroring. If you don't want to mirror, the actual proper term that we use is called spanning. And you span your monitors out over both. So I'm going to turn off the mirroring. And once again, I have my secondary display over there. So that is one way to go. Macs auto-recognize, most PCs will auto-recognize now, especially if you're using a modern operating system, and that's just one way to hook up. Now I'm going to disconnect this for just a second, and it will bring my video back to this screen, which I will get rid of. And I'm going to disconnect this monitor for just a minute because I'm going to show you something else. With various software, it is, in fact, possible to use your iPad as your secondary monitor. Now, the beautiful part of this is if you're running on an Apple laptop or Apple machine of any kind, and I'm just going to turn on the iPad here like that, there is this wonderful option. If you have anything even remotely modern, you will be able to turn on this option called Sidecar, and it will go over here, and I will say, connect to the iPad, and the iPad now becomes my second screen. It has the same desktop, but if, once again, I pull up a window, doesn't really matter which, sure, that'll do just fine, and I move that over once again, I can choose the arrangement, and I can choose to put tools or windows or other things nicely on my secondary screen. Or there is one other advantage. The iPad, if you have an iPad Air 4, fourth generation, any of the iPad Pros or the iPad where you have an Apple Pencil, this can work as a graphics tablet. Now, Sidecar allows for this. If you don't have Sidecar, that's okay. There are a number of apps that you can download that are very, very effective. If you want to use it on PC, there is, so the Mac version has Astropad, or there's Duet Display. Duet Display is a paid app on the iPad, and you download the companion app for your Mac or PC, and you install that. And once you have that on, it can automatically recognize the iPad wired or wireless, and it can use your iPad as a secondary screen. Project Blue also lets you use the graphic tablet. It is still in beta, so it doesn't do pressure sensitivity. Astropad for the Mac does do pressure sensitivity. It has since day one. And it is a free app to download, actually, unless you want to get the Pro version, which has a subscription to it, as Duet Display does if you want to use it as a graphic tablet. If you just want to use it as a secondary display, you're good to go free. But if you want to really get that Apple Pencil in there for those fine-tuned details, especially when you're editing photos or whatnot, you could literally have the photo that you're editing or your design that you're editing on the iPad full screen and all your tools on your regular Mac. The Mac cursor still applies. You are still using the Mac as your functional machine, and that is important. So huge, huge thing there. Now, one last point is if you want to go, I'm going to turn that off for just a second. There we go. I'm going to turn that off. I'll put my iPad over here. Yes, that is Ike on the iPad. Okay. What if you want to use a television? Do I have to go out and buy a monitor? No, you can use a television. So how do I get my Mac or my PC? If you have HDMI, again, we love that standard, love those standards. HDMI is a great way to get your image from your computer to the television. But my Mac doesn't have that. My Mac has only USB-C. So how do I deal with that? Well, I have a number of adapters. This one's actually for the iPad, but it does work with the Mac. USB-C on one side, USB-C, USB-A, HDMI, and headphones on the other. So you can add a headphone jack to the iPad in addition to the HDMI, USB-A, USB-C port. Fantastic. You can charge through this and a whole bunch of other stuff. I have another one here. This is a, is that Reka? Yeah, this is a Reka. There are others that sell like this. Again, USB-C on one side, HDMI up at the top here, USB-A, USB-A, USB-C. So I can plug other USB devices in while that's outputting to the monitor. And that I also use for my Switch, which is great. And speaking of that, oh, yes, for my MacBook Air specifically, I have this lovely Anker. Again, same thing, 2 USB-C ports, HDMI out the top, and it gives me 2 USB-A ports, 2 USB-C ports, and I can even have the card reader. So that's kind of fun just if I want to put a quick card in, but output into the TV is fantastic. And last but not least, I mentioned the Switch, the Genki dock, which, by the way, if you guys refer back to a few episodes back where I was doing the gaming set, I think it was show 48, day 48, I have this plug. It will not only charge the Mac, it will not only charge the MacBook or the iPad, but yes, it takes USB-C from there to there and outputs, guess what? Our favorite HDMI. That's right. So I can plug that to any television anywhere, nice and portable, super, super easy to carry. And it still gives me a USB port, which I can still use. So whether it's the Switch, the iPad, the Mac, that's why I love this. And I love these adapters that are easy to use. They are plug and play. There are no special software you need, no drivers, no fooling around, no miss, no mess. Straight up. Guys, if you have any more questions, I can't get to post the email up there, but it's coaching@rstruther.com. If you want to check out the website, it's rstruther.com, rstruther.com. And this is Not Technically Perfect with me, Richard Struther, and I will see you guys live at 6:45 tomorrow with something else fun that maybe I'll do what I wanted to do today. We'll find out. I will see you guys tomorrow. Thanks for tuning in. Have yourselves a great end of the weekend, and I hope your Monday mornings are fantastic.